I do think that nowadays it's a lot more difficult for Cuban immigrants to get here, at least more so than before. Like, it wasn't necessarily easy for my mom and my dad to get here. My grandparents got here because they won the visa lottery. So
Wow.
they,
Really?
yeah. So they got really lucky, and there's a lot of people who are stuck in Cuba, and these are intelligent individuals, and sometimes, you know, like, there are very, very talented doctors or surgeons or sometimes even ballet dancers, like people who are experts in their field.
Here.
And yeah, a lot of them get that
lot of them
opportunity to travel and then just to stay where they went. You know,
They'll cross through Canada and stuff.
yeah, that's not as easy anymore. And yeah, a lot of people who stay behind are people who don't have either the monetary capacity or the physical capacity sometimes, or sometimes, like, not in a bad way, but the intellectual capacity. A lot of them do tend to stay behind because they can't get out, and that's awful. It's awful that they have to stay within that regime.
They're victims of their own mental prison.
Yes, exactly.
That's true. More than anything, a mental prison.
Yeah, because aside from the yield,
Mm-hmm.
there's no other reason for you to stay in a place that doesn't provide any tool for you to grow.
Exactly. I mean, my mom, like, she works for what she has. She's always worked for what she has, and she's always provided money for her family back in Cuba, which is mainly her half sister and her half brother back there. And, like, her half brother actually used to live in the U.S. and he moved back. he couldn't handle it over here. And that's another thing, that people move over here and they don't realize, like, how much they have to work to get somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not just like you get here with your degree from Cuba and you can just start doing what you were doing over there over here.
Tell us about it. We can really relate to that.
Yeah, man.
Yes. It, like, requires you to.
You were doing veterinary in Venezuela, weren't you?
Yeah, I did 3 years over there, and due to the same conditions of the country didn't allow me to keep going because we got expropiados.
Oof.
So, in order to be able to move on, I ended up here. Yeah. But even seeing the conditions are completely different from one country to the other, depending on the career, right? So you will expect here for a career as important as that to be really well monetized, really well rewarded.
Yeah.
It's not. It's really not.
No, not
it's
at
really
all.
Not. I really had a bad drink with that, a sour drink with that. That factor of whatever career you had before coming here, the fact that most of it won't be recognized, it really limits your choices, particularly if you already come from a position of comfort, running away from a position of comfort.
It makes you really have to reconsider what you're going to do with your life.
Definitely. I'm seeing, since we started this entire project of creating content, I'm noticing a really huge spike in Venezuelan creators.
Yeah,
Venezuelan content creators.
Oh, there's a lot.
I don't know if it's since I'm getting in the field and I'm now there in my radar, but I'm starting to notice there's so many of them, and seeing where I came from, seeing where they came from, I think we can all relate in the fact that the solitude factor when you have to when you become exiled from a place, particularly if you were in a good place, finding a window to express yourself, to really put yourself out there, to find people who will represent and connect to your experiences and your values, that's where we're going.
I mean, you don't want to waste your knowledge.
Exactly.
You know, like like you say, like, a lot of people get degrees in these countries where they can't do anything with it here besides share it. You know, what else are you gonna do? It's you show what you've learned and how you interpret it, and a lot of people have a lot of interesting ways of viewing the world. So
yes,
they become creators, and there's nothing more special than creating something. That's awesome.
Honestly.
But there's also the case of the people who come here to pursue college, You know, a lot
Yes,
of people
that's true.
move from other countries to pursue college, like in this country, and they become very disappointed with the reality that first of all, college is very expensive, and you have to invest money into it. It's not like back in the 1970s, 1980s when you could like work during a summer and pay off your college yourself. You can't do that anymore.
But those are the dreams we got sold to.
Exactly.
They really sold those ideas.
They really did.
We're all here pretty much pursuing that.
And when we say they, we mean our parents, our guardians, our teachers.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
the
Absolutely,
the people who
absolutely.
raised us.
The people who put us in this situation.
Yeah. You go to school and you're taught that, hey, like if you do well in school, if you really learn your stuff, you can do anything that you want to do. You can get into all these amazing schools, you can get into all these amazing programs, you can learn whatever it is that you want to do, and you can get into college where you're going to have the most amazing life learning all of these obscure things that you wouldn't learn anywhere else, and then graduate with a degree in like archaeology or something. I don't know. And then you can't find a job in your field. And you
Well,
realize
that's a
it's
very
just like-
wide. That's a very
Yeah.
wide, but
I don't know, it's also as like the world changes.
yeah.
You're not going to be doing the same careers necessarily that were around 100, 200 years ago. So it's
Yeah.
like, and sometimes
Space
people.
Force.
Space Force.
Yeah, oh my god.
Danny, if you're
Yeah.
listening to this, good luck in Space Force.
Right, I think, like, people get too stuck on some of those and on the past and like the factory jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We have better technology
I mean,
now that can do that. Like, it's better to go into fields that have not been created yet, push the
Oh,
norm, push
yeah.
the boundary, rather than going to the options that are already presented. It's like staying within your comfort, not trying to improve in any which type of way.
so what about the people that are gonna get left behind on that?
I mean, there's a lot of people that are doing it, but I'm just saying there is still a large
They
majority that are
they
still
are
doing
getting
it.
left behind.
Yeah.
We have to be clear on that. They are getting
Oh.
left behind.
But it's like,
Is it
what's an infra?
natural order?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as to call it that. I don't think it seems fair to call it that. I think that everyone deserves the same opportunities as anybody else. I think that we should all have access to education. We should all have access
Oh no,
to
yeah, that in
Yeah.
itself, yes.
Okay, but taking away that factor, not everybody is adapting to these new times.
This is true. This is very true, but it's incredibly difficult to adapt to.
Yeah,
different
it's,
times.
I know it's hard to put it on those.
Yeah, it's like there's a certain element of like suffering that really forces you to grow up.
Yes.
It really forces you to adapt to the world around you, knowing that like, hey, maybe I don't want to be doing this right now, but what I'm doing will somehow help me pursue what I want to do. And you should always use something as a stepping stone. So never go backwards, always go forward. Whatever you can do, like, you got to take risks, because if you don't, then you're never going to get what you want. Like, you might still not get what you want, but you have a better chance of getting what you want if you really, really put everything into it.
Makes sense.
So,
Preach.
preach.